My name is Derek, and I'm a computer professional from San Francisco. After 2 years of nothing but work, I finally decided to hit pause and take a real break. A vacation. And somehow, that led me here to Bali. It was supposed to be just a getaway. Clean my head, reset. But then I met Bibek, a 6-foot-tall, muscular hunk who drives a bike taxi by day and moves like pure fire on the dance floor at night. Last night, we walked hand in hand under the Bali moonlight, the air thick with something I hadn't felt in a long time, and then just like that, he was gone. One call, a sudden shift, and he disappeared into the night. I don't know what happened, but I do know one thing. I'm not the type to just let things go. Welcome back to Escape from San Francisco to Bali, Episode 2. If you haven't seen the first part, go check it out. And while you're here, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because this story, it's just getting started. 1 minute, I was walking through the warm Bali night, hand in hand with a man who made the world feel a little less heavy. And the next, he was gone. No explanation. Just a phone call and a hurried goodbye. Something isn't right. And me? I'm not the type to let things go. Next morning, the soft murmur of waves fills my beachfront hotel room. Sunlight filters through the sheer curtains, casting golden streaks across the bed. But it's not the morning breeze or the scent of the ocean that lingers in my mind. It's him, Bibek, the way he moved last night, the way his body commanded the rhythm of the music, fluid yet powerful. I can still see it, the dark, damp strands of his long hair sticking to his forehead, the way his broad chest rose and fell as he danced, sweat glistening on his tanned skin under the neon lights. Jesus. I run a hand through my messy hair, staring at the ceiling. I wasn't expecting this. This pull, this fascination, the memory of the dance. The bar had been buzzing, bodies moving, drinks flowing, laughter echoing. And then there was Bibek. I had been talking to someone, I can't even remember who, when my eyes locked on him on the dance floor. Effortless, sensual, unapologetic. Every roll of his hips, every calculated movement of his sculpted arms sent a slow burn through my veins. Damn, there was a confidence to him, one that didn't need validation. And yet, his eyes, dark, piercing, searching, as if asking me something I couldn't quite put into words. That same confidence had been there at the bike ride. Not cocky, not reckless, just undeniable. Bibek had handled the bike like it was an extension of his own body, weaving through the streets with calculated precision. And then, he was gone. One phone call, a sudden shift in his expression, a hurried excuse. I watched as he disappeared into the night, leaving nothing but questions in his wake. Now, lying in bed, I exhale sharply. This isn't just curiosity anymore. It's not just about the dance, or the way Bibek's body had made my pulse do things I didn't think were possible. It's the mystery, the unanswered question. Why did he leave so suddenly? Who was on that call? And, more than anything else, why the hell can't I stop thinking about him? By afternoon, I find him, bruised, pacing, angry. Bibek's younger brother, caught in a deal with Bali's underground. And now, Bibek is paying the price. A man named Raka made him an offer. A job, a dangerous one. One ride, one delivery, no questions asked. Bibek refused. But refusal? That comes with consequences. They have 48 hours to pay up or his brother disappears. I say I don't think so. I'll cover it. Bibek stares at me. You don't even know me. I smirk. Guess I like bad decisions. Fast money isn't easy. Loan sharks? Too risky. Poker? Too unpredictable. A street race? Now that's an option. And Bibek? He used to race. Before he left it all behind. I don't hesitate. I rent a Yamaha YZF R1 for him. One night. One race. Winner takes all. The crowd gathers. The reigning champion, Reza, is undefeated. He knows every twist, every shortcut. But I'm watching one man, Bibek, dressed in a snug, storm gray racing suit that clings to his broad shoulders. He looks like pure, undiluted power. His fingers flex around the throttle. His muscular thighs grip the seat. The engine roars beneath him, vibrating through the air like a beast unleashed. I exhale. My heart is hammering in sync with the purr of that machine. Why am I so drawn to this man? What is it about him that sticks, that refuses to leave my mind? Engines roar. The air is electric. The flag drops. They fly through the streets, dodging cars, cutting tight corners. Reza pushes hard. But Bibek? He's got something to prove. I stand near the edge of the track. The heat of the sun on my skin, nothing compared to the fire curling low in my stomach as I watch him take his position. The race is brutal. The reigning champion, a cocky local with a neon green Yamaha, pushes Bibek hard, tires screeching, inches away from his own bike. The narrow streets are a blur of light and motion. Every turn is a risk. Every second feels like an eternity. My fingers dig into my jeans. My breath hitches when Bibek comes dangerously close to the barricades, narrowly avoiding a crash. The crowd roars. And then, on the final stretch, when it seems like Reza has the lead, Bibek makes his move. A last-second maneuver. A flash of black and silver. A moment of perfect control. He crosses the finish line first. A new champion is crowned. Victory. The air explodes with cheers. Men slap Bibek on the back. Women reach for him. His name is shouted through megaphones. I watch as sweat glistens on his golden-brown skin, his broad chest rising and falling with every deep breath. The man is a god. The roar of the crowd still echoed in my ears, the adrenaline coursing through my veins like a wildfire. Bibek had done it. He had won. Against all odds, against the ruthless racers, against the weight of his own burdens, he had crossed the finish line first. The championship was his. As he swung his leg off the bike, his chest heaving, he ripped off his helmet and let out a victorious roar. The sheer rawness of it sent shivers down my spine. The once cocky and mischievous man I had met on the streets of Bali was now standing tall, a champion. Before I could even process it, he turned, eyes locking onto mine, and in a flash, he was running toward me. The next thing I knew, I was off the ground, his strong arms lifting me effortlessly. I yelped in surprise, laughing as he spun me around like I weighed nothing. Then, right there in front of the entire crowd, he leaned in and blew a kiss my way. The crowd erupted into cheers and whistles, but all I could focus on was the fire in his deep brown eyes. "You made this possible, Derek," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "I could have never done this without you." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a thick wad of cash, the prize money. But before he tucked it away, he pressed a smaller bundle into my hands. "This is for you," he insisted. "The money you use for the entry fee, the bike rental, I'm paying you back." I shook my head and pushed his hand away. "No, Bibek, this was never a loan. It was my gift to you." His jaw clenched, and for a second, he looked like he might argue, but then his lips curved into that signature smirk of his, the one that always made my stomach twist in the best way. "You're impossible," he murmured, pulling me in closer, his forehead resting against mine. The electric tension between us was undeniable. I could feel the heat of his body through his sweat-drenched t-shirt, the scent of burnt rubber and wind still clinging to him. His fingers brushed against my waist, lingering just long enough to send a ripple of anticipation through me. "Come with me," he whispered, his breath warm against my skin. I let him lead me through the celebrating crowd, past the flashing cameras, past the roaring engines and the scent of gasoline and victory. The night was alive with celebration, but Bibek had something else in mind. We ended up on a secluded stretch of the beach, away from the madness. The waves crashed softly, the moon casting silver highlights on his dark, tan skin. Bibek turned to me, his playful grin now replaced by something more intense. "You really won't take the money?" he asked, voice low. I shook my head. I'd rather have this moment. His fingers trailed down my arm, sending a shiver through me. "You're too good for me. You know that." I laughed softly. "I don't think so." He leaned in, his lips grazing mine, soft, teasing, testing. The taste of triumph, of salt, of something deeply unspoken lingered between us. And then, with a groan, he closed the space completely, his arms locking around me as he pulled me flush against him. His body was warm, solid, a living furnace beneath the night sky. I melted into him, into his touch, into the way his hands traced slow, lazy circles over my back. The intensity of the race, the rush of victory, the weight of all that he had fought for, it all bled into this moment. "I should be thanking you properly," he murmured against my lips, his voice husky. I smirked. "And how exactly do you plan to do that?" His grin turned wicked, and before I could react, he tackled me into the sand, his laughter mixing with mine as he pinned me beneath him. The world faded away, the race, the money, the chaos. Right now it was just us. Just the crash of the waves, the heat of his skin against mine, the undeniable truth that this, whatever this was something real. And for the first time in a long time, I wasn't running from it. His lips brushed against mine, soft at first, teasing, before he deepened the kiss, slow and unrushed, as if savoring the moment. I melted into him, into the heat of his body, into the raw energy humming between us. And just like that, the world disappeared. The crowd, the noise, the flashing lights, it all faded into nothing. The only thing that mattered was him, was us. His hands framed my face, his body pressing me into the warm, golden sand. My heart pounded in my chest, and for the first time in a long time, I felt something real. Something I wasn't afraid of anymore. This was the start of something new, something powerful, something worth holding on to. As the waves crashed behind us, I realized I had finally found what I didn't even know I was looking for. Love. If you enjoyed this love story full of passion, thrill, and heart, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. More stories like this are coming your way, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching.